Hey everyone who is in the chat and that I have been chatting with. Thank you for coming today. We have another episode of Real Talk live with Miss Kathy. Today it is just Miss Kathy. I do not have a guest as originally planned, but I do want to continue on with the series and I want to talk on this topic, swatting. Can you guys hear me okay before I keep going? Can you put a 1 in the chat? Make sure I do have audio. I don't want to keep talking if I don't have audio. Somebody out there. Do I have audio? Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. I'm going to have to do it myself. All right, do we have audio? Testing, testing. Okay, I can hear it on my end. Now I got to mute it. All right, do we have audio? All right, give me a second. Doing the old traditional Miss Kathy always has technical difficulties. It's my thing. Thank you, Gemma, for responding. I always forget there's such a lag in the chat. Hello, and Butterfly Brooke is here. You're on your lunch and you can hear. Good. Okay. So my topic for Real Talk is a very serious topic, although it is done out of fun, idiotic, stupid, pranking fun. And I recently heard about it from my friend Rick, the Corn Life Network, who had a personal experience with swatting. And once it was brought to light, I continued to research it more and found that other YouTubers have also experienced swatting. Basically, swatting is or has become a prank. I personally don't know how long this has been going on, but people think it's funny to get a hold of your IP address while you're live streaming on YouTube and witness armed forces making their way into your home while you're live streaming. Most of the time, they try to attack people who are alone or who have innocently not locked their system in their Google Hangouts. Their address is available and they call 911 and the SWAT team shows up at their house. I can't imagine the horror of that happening, but it is happening. And we need to bring awareness to how to fix the situation. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. Gemma says, I cannot believe people do this for fun. It is so damaging. Random Live Productions. Welcome to my talk. That's a right pain in the neck. Officers are busy enough without the nonsense that's going on for a few years. Okay, so it has been going on for a few years now. It is new to me within the last month or so. There has been a few people this has happened to, and Butterfly Brooke says swatting doesn't have to do with the fly swatter. It's so true. Isn't it always good to have a little bit of humor when you're dealing with a serious situation? I know that my friend Rick is listening, but he was unable to come on the panel. There may be a time where he could, and if that is, I want to welcome him, and I will be happy to send the link. But you guys are just stuck with me about it now. Let's bring awareness to this sick prank. Gemma says, yes, humor helps to an extent. Humor always helps me. I do sometimes have a nervous laugh. So if you ever get to know me a little better and you find me chuckling, it's probably because I'm nervous. Robert, the Fish Sandwich Show, says it's a horrible way to get someone hurt or even killed. Yeah, I was watching a video. All you have to do is search swatting in your YouTube search bar, and there's several videos out there. But basically, they'll be live streaming, and all of a sudden they'll get a knock on their door, and it's the SWAT team, and they bombard you and throw guns in your face and throw you down on the floor, and you have to defend for yourself. I can't imagine being in that situation. I have watched a live streamer who came on and told his story, and he spoke of ways to prevent this from happening. He did not hear the banging on his door, and so it got to the point where they had to bust in and break his fish tank, damage his house. And I remember him stating that if he could have prevented this by maybe sitting by a window. For instance, right now, I'm home and I'm right by a window. And if I saw a bunch of police cars pulling up in my house right now, I don't know if I would end the stream now that I know of the situation, but I would definitely run out my house with my hands up saying, please, officers, I'm on a YouTube stream right now. This is obviously a joke, but you're welcome to come in and search my home. Please don't damage anything, be at their mercy. So if you are live streaming, the one thing I would suggest is that you do it by a window, or you do it by your front door, or put up a sign at your front door. Live streaming YouTuber right now. I don't know. Internet safety, though, would be making sure that you have your IP address locked and private. Also, check your Google account that you don't have personal information on there. For instance, your actual address. After I found out about this swatting prank, I went to my Google settings, which I thought were privatized. I do have a lock on my IP address, but I had my address and didn't know it was on there. And I since have removed it. But I suggest everyone be very aware of that and make sure that you don't have your address on your Google account. Random Life Productions. All right, let me back up one for Robert's chat. I've even seen a few videos where they stormed people's house thinking somebody was in intimate danger. Yeah, mostly that is what's happening. Random Life Productions. The only thing you can do is make sure your IP address is secure, not share your location. I wouldn't run out though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally know several police officers. In fact, the chief of police lives in my neighborhood. So, I mean, for me, I can't imagine this happening, because if they did get a 911 call and they came to my home, I think they would already know. I'm pretty well known in my small community, and I'm a teacher. So I'm, at school when we have bomb threats, and I know the police officers in my area pretty well. So, but if I didn't, it would be very scary. Gemma says, my IP address is private and all my social medias are private. Good. That's important. But I had hoped to bring Rick on to talk about his experience. I thought that it would be beneficial. Rick did want to come on and talk about his experience, but it's just a little bit it's traumatizing. I believe that it really did traumatize Rick, and he's done everything he can to overcome this traumatic experience. And he's just not ready to really come on camera to discuss it. And I respect that. I wholeheartedly respect that. I do want to bring awareness to it, though. Robert says, I'm wondering if this can happen if you're using a cell phone. Good question, Robert. I don't know the answer to that. I would believe, I don't know. The one thing that I'm wondering is, how do they not know where this 911 call came from? That's something that I don't understand. When you make a 911 call, don't they usually know your location? I don't understand how these people are getting away with this. Gemma says it doesn't just affect the person involved at the time. It affects the further family and even friends of the person. Most definitely. Yeah. Would any of you like to come on the panel and be my co-host today? Let me know if you're willing or want to, and I will send you a link privately. That's another thing. I've been on several live streams where people are, they're putting their Google Hangout link while they're streaming in the chat, and people have lost their channels. People have gotten very vulgar sexual images showing up during their live stream and gotten their channels banned and shut down because of it. So if you are live streaming, don't ever leave the Google Hangout in the chat. And Tina, hey, I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Hey, everyone. Hey, Miss Kathy just tuned in. This is very scary stuff, and you had no idea what was happening. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to bring awareness to it. Random Live Production says they may be making a call through Skype and rerouting the location. Yeah. There has to be a trick to what they're doing. I mean, the sickening thing that I can't even imagine is why. To think that that is funny, it's not. It's very stupid. I would share if I knew how, or if I wasn't afraid of a copyright or something, I would share my screen and play a video of them happening. But all I can tell you is that all you have to do is search swatting in YouTube and you will discover it. Butterfly Brooke says having a VPN is the only way to secure it. Yes. Brooke says ours was locked. Your IP address was locked, but you didn't have a VPN. Yes, you have to have a private network. You have to pay for a VPN. Correct. Gemma Journey Grace says, I think this is an issue that can affect everybody, especially people who are new to YouTube and people who may not understand about live streaming. Yeah, I think also there are so many young kids that think they, obviously our youth always thinks they know everything. And they don't realize the seriousness of things that they're doing. And most of the youth that I see live streaming within the community that I circle myself around continue to be very vulnerable. And I've reached out privately to those individuals to encourage them to be safer, because they're putting links to their chat while they're streaming. They're setting up large Google groups and they're public. They think they're private, but they're not. And I think they're getting themselves into some serious trouble. Big Boy Johnny 25 says, hey, did you read my comment? The one about the mural, the school mural video. I will search that when I finish with my live stream, and I will look into it. Gemma's Journey's Grace. What comment, Johnny? Big Boy Johnny 25 came on about 15 minutes before I live streamed and wanted me to check out a school mural video. And I've got it written down, and I will definitely look for it. Thank you for sharing that information. Guys, I'm not going to make this a long stream unless I had somebody that actually wanted to come on and talk about the experience more. I just wanted to bring awareness to it, and this is what today's Real Talk was about. Brooke, thank you for being here on your lunch hour, because for those of you who don't know, in the chat, Butterfly Brooke, her husband was at home and was swatted during a live stream. And at the same time, Brooke was Google hanging out from another location. And so you're saying it was, whoa, it got fast for me for a minute there. It was a burner phone. I don't know what that is, Brooke. Robert, I read somewhere if it happens over state lines, that it becomes a federal issue so that you can get in real bad trouble for doing something like this. Brooke says, no, they gave our home address. This is crazy. Random Live Production says, Breck Bednar, please share this YouTube video to young people on the internet. Big Boy Johnny 25, you're welcome. You can watch that on your channel. I want to see you react to that video. I don't technically know how to do a reaction video yet. Butterfly Brooke says, I can come on for a bit. Okay. Brooke, I can send you this link through your Twitter, okay? Big Boy Johnny, you missed my comment. I'll go back up and look just a second, Johnny. Johnny, actually, what I'm going to ask of you is since it doesn't involve this topic, unless it does, you can type in again in the chat. I'm going to have to look into that thing later today. Okay, Brooke, I am going to get on here real quick and send you this link so you can come on and chat. I'm going to go to Twitter. Just give me a second. Okay, Brooke, I sent it to you. Now let me get back to my screen here. Big Boy, time-lapse Yelpa school mural. That's the title. Yes, I already have the video up in a note on my phone. I promise I will watch it. And if I can figure out how to do a reaction video to it, I will even do that for you. So I'm just going to stay on and welcome Brooke onto the panel here in a few minutes. I'm sure she's just got to take a second to get that link. And we can let Brooke fill us in on her own personal experience with this swatting. Okay, we'll connect with you there too, Big Boy Johnny. Can you guys hear in the background my husband talking on the phone? Hey, welcome to my show. I had heard of this happening to celebrities, but didn't realize it was happening more frequently to others. Yes. I can't ever say your channel name. I want to say Sylvia. Silove? I'm totally botching that up, I'm sure. Sinolve? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Big Boy wants to know what shoes I'm wearing. I'm not wearing shoes. Just got my socks on. Sinolve. Sinolve or Sinolve? Robert says, I'm surprised YouTube hasn't done some kind of video informing people of how to better secure their computers and phones when live stream seems like they're dropping the ball again. I would probably assume that YouTube does have a video in their creative support series. I just don't think a lot of live streamers look into the safety of things. I think they just wing it and they go for it. Big Boy Johnny 5, Kathy, what shoes are you wearing? None. I'm just wearing my socks. The first way E is silent. Silnove. Did I say that right? Silnove? Brooke, are you still in the chat? Were you able to get that link that I sent you? What shoes? I'm still laughing at the question that Johnny asked me. What shoes am I wearing? Silnove. Okay. You should see how they move while the color change. Okay. Guys, help me out. What's he talking about? Oh. I'm wondering if Brooke is having some technical difficulties. Thanks, Sanal. You know, I had hopes, it's been a couple weeks now that Rick and I have been exchanging messages about bringing this awareness. Today he's just having a tough day and he was unable to come on the stream. I do hope that Brooke is able to connect and get on because I personally have not had this happen to me. But I was looking forward to bringing awareness to the topic and helping people know the best thing to do. And you guys, simply the best thing, yes, is to make sure you have a VPN, especially if you are going to be a live streamer. I'm just going to sit tight for a bit and see if Brooke will come on and chat, and then I'm going to end my broadcast today. Big Johnny 25, did you pull up the video? It's the first video. Sweetheart, no, I didn't, and I'm not going to until I'm done with talking about this topic. What is a VPN? It's private network. It's a security that you pay for monthly to put on your IP, on your BAN for your internet so that no one can access your internet. Hello, Brooke.
Hi.
Thank you for saving me. I know that you've been doing a lot of research on this. So the most recent question we have is, what's a VPN? Can you tell us what a VPN is? Because I know you guys just got one.
A VPN is I think a virtual private network.
Yes.
So we pay a monthly fee for the VPN. I think you can buy them in packages, like if you get a year subscription or whatever. But right now we're just trying it out. You can also access it, like right now it's through my phone. So everything that we have is already connected to our VPN. So it protects our cell phones, our computers, tablets, all that.
Wonderful. So. Thank you. Thank you for providing that information. You see me sweating over here?
Yeah, I do.
So what do you want to tell us about your experience with this and what steps you and Rick have done to prevent this from happening again?
Hopefully you can see me.
You look great.
Okay, well, thank you. So actually I was out of town for business through work, and due to weather, I had spent the night, and I had talked to Rick about doing some live streaming together. So
yeah, I was on the stream when it did happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we did that on the first night, Monday night, and then Tuesday night we did it again. and I
So
knew
you were at the
something.
hotel.
I
What I witnessed from my end
Right,
is you guys were live streaming, doing a Google Hangout, just like you and I were. You were
correct.
at the hotel and he was at home in your home because you were traveling and you guys wanted to hang out.
Right. Yep.
And I
And
was
with our
watching you hang
friends.
out
Yeah.
and chatting
Yeah.
along with you guys.
Yep. So we were just having a good time. Things were, we were just chatting with our friends, with our YouTube friends,
Yeah.
and um, uh, Rick heard the doorbell, or actually, back that up. We received a phone call from my brother. Rick received a phone call. And then a few minutes later, I received a phone call. I texted my brother back and I said, "Hey, can I call you back?" And the response I got was, "Yeah, sure." Um, and so, not thinking anything of it. And then just shortly after that, Rick received a phone call from a local number. He did not answer. I also received a number from a local number, did not answer, but we were obviously on the live stream. We didn't compare what the phone number was, and we weren't going to, make that public. Um, and then shortly after that, our doorbell started ringing, and there was pounding at the door.
And can I
Um,
stop you right there?
yep. Mm-hmm,
Because I want to give my perspective from that
yep.
point on.
Yep.
Same thing. Brooke looks at her phone. Well, that's weird. My phone just rang. Rick, my phone just rang. You're like, we're both getting phone calls at the
Yeah.
same time.
Right.
And I'm thinking somebody in your family needs to speak to both of you, right? So my
Right.
perspective. Then Rick, very casually,
He gets
says,
up. Yep.
he hears the doorbell
Yep.
and he says, Brooke, keep them going for a few
Yep.
minutes.
Yep. Yep.
And so
So
I think Rick's going to go up and get the door, and Rick ends the stream. And
yep.
I thought it was an accident. My
Yeah.
my initial reaction was, oops, he just hit the wrong button. And I'm chatting with you through the live chat, through the Google Hangout.
Right.
Can't see you anymore because he ended it, but the chat was still going.
Right. And the chat was still going, but he had heard police. And when he heard that, he stopped it.
Yeah.
I
He did
knew
a
so.
fantastic job just
Right.
nonchalantly keeping
Yep.
his cool.
Right. And the thing was, I could still see what was happening.
So you were still on the Hangout. It's just that he hit the
Correct.
stop broadcast button.
Right. So the way the camera was positioned, and normally when we do our talks together, we're in the kitchen, which is kind of, we have a very big opening. So the kitchen is off of the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there's a wall there. So I couldn't see, I mean, I could just see, Rick in the kind of the back of the kitchen. But I could hear, police. I could hear this kind of chaos. I could, and so I think I was actually at that point texting you, and I was like, something's wrong. And I was freaking out because I could see. And then the next thing I see is Rick over there with one of the officers, and he was saying, my wife's over here on the other side. And I'm just like looking at him like, you know, um,
Helpless,
so yeah,
completely
it
petrified and
was,
helpless.
yeah. And so, at that point is when, we kind of were trying to put the pieces together and figured out what was happening. It just kind of, obviously we ended and stopped
Now they
that.
vandalized part of your home because they had to forcefully come in, correct? Like they thought the 911 call was that he had a machete and he had already murdered you, or he
Well,
was
his murdered his girlfriend,
murdered
which,
his girlfriend.
um, so
So they had to come in and search.
they came in and searched because they believed that there was a murder in process.
Right.
And I think our door may have been unlocked. I don't recall. But as soon as there's just I mean, he got up as soon as he heard, but they started coming in. And there was we got the police report. There's at least 6, if not more. There could have been a couple outside in the cars or whatever, but there were 6 present inside the home. They believe there was a murder in progress. The police report actually said that he had called in and said that his girlfriend was dead. He had killed her with a machete. Um, And so when they opened the door, on the back of our door, we have a coat rack, and it ended up busting off. And I think his cajon was near the front door, and that got knocked over.
And now that's his drum, the box he plays.
Yep. Yep.
Which is not
so
cheap.
No,
and
it's
which
not.
is a thing that he loves to do,
yeah.
and use, and now no longer
Yeah.
has it.
Yeah, he has. I bought him a laptop cajon for Christmas, so he has that. But the other one, I think there's some damage. So,
Yeah.
And we didn't know about that right away until I think maybe a week later. I don't remember, but so it was pretty traumatic.
It's a pretty sick joke.
It was. One of the things that happened was law enforcement, and I think you were referring to the guy with the fish tank. That happened in our community about 2 weeks prior. And so one of the things the officer said is, "Are you streaming?" Because what had happened is the individual who made the call used a burner phone.
A burner phone.
Yep. So you can't trace
burner phone.
When they call it back, there's no one there. So they get rid of it, they delete it, or pitch whatever.
Why do people even have these?
A lot of,
why are they even? Oh, it's sick. I'm asking that rhetorically, like stupidly,
I know.
I just can't believe.
Yeah. So
it's mind-boggling. It really is.
It is. And the damage that they did to the guy in our community was pretty extensive. I mean, they came in full blazing, and he was, I think there's a clip of him showing, like, what the heck just happened here, and, they broke some of his fish tanks and the door. They thought there was, and I don't know the full details, but one of the officers,
he showed this YouTuber. I don't remember what his name was, but he showed that.
Yep,
he put that out as awareness. He did.
Yeah,
came on and talked about it, and then in the same video. So anyone, like I said, all you have to do is search swatting, and you'll find several videos of people that will come on and share their experience or share the actual footage of the swatting happening.
Yeah, it. Part of the reasoning is, people are trying to either. They want to see what's happening. So when there's a live stream, they want to see the chaos and the, kind of that prank.
Yeah.
What's happening.
Rob Hoffman, Rob Hoffman plays the piano, has a beautiful YouTube channel. I love it. He shared that someone that he was following on YouTube, it happened to a woman who was sitting in her wheelchair.
Yep.
A disabled woman live streaming. She did her video as well and showed it, and watching that, and she was totally terrified, crying in the video. But I'm glad she was able to bring awareness as well to this, because she was able to come back and talk about it.
Yeah,
I think it's so important that when we go through something like this, that we bring awareness to it, so that we can put a stop to it.
Right. And I think that's the important thing. And Rick and I have really struggled with, where do we go from here? Do we stop? Do we, does he not YouTube anymore? What do we do with live stream? It's pretty traumatic, and it's still impacting us, him. That night was pretty traumatic for both of us. And that was our first time that we had been ever apart since we've been married. And other than that, it was just, I think, not being able to be there together.
And this wasn't a vengeance on you personally. This was just, hey, we found some guy home alone. Let's play a prank.
Yeah, I believe that because the person that it happened in our community, we were not connected. I do follow him now. I did reach out to him. Now,
when you say community, are you talking virtual community, or are you talking residential community?
Residential.
So this happened to someone actually in your neighborhood?
Yes.
Living neighborhood?
Yes.
Wow.
Within, about a mile away from us.
And that's the YouTuber that had the broken fish tank?
Yes.
So he's from your state, from your...
Yep, from our town.
County. Wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's from our town. And so that's why law enforcement didn't come in full blazing. You know, they would have, I think,
Yeah.
because they did with him the first time. And so that's why I don't feel like it was personal. The other piece to that is, had that person been watching for a while, you know, I was very open that, you know, who we are and that we're married. And I mean, the call said girlfriend, and not that, but it's just like they didn't really have kind of the full details of who we were. So I think that also, I don't know, may have, I don't feel like it was personal. I know that as far as we know, the case is still open. We've asked for the audio clips of it, what happened, the recording, and that will be available to us when they're done. So we're working with law enforcement on that, and we're just kind of waiting to hear back from them.
Yeah. Thank you, Random Life Productions. He had said that he was making a point of the people with the burner phones are usually drug dealing, et cetera.
Yeah.
Sick,
Yeah.
sick individuals.
Yeah. And it could be, you know, this could have somebody local. This could be somebody overseas. This could be, you know, there's research that I've done. It's not just YouTube, Google Hangouts, although, you know, I did find it ironic. The gentleman that was with the fish tank, the lady with the wheelchair, they were all around the same time. The lady in the wheelchair, I watched her video and reached out to her. And it happened actually around like the day before or the day of the same, our event, maybe a couple days before. But everyone was on a Google Hangout through YouTube. But as I've been researching this, it's not just Google Hangouts. It's not just YouTube. There was a couple in Des Moines about a year ago that got somebody called in and they got swatted, saying that their son was trying to kill their dad. I mean, it was a very random thing. So
Yeah,
it
I
does
saw a
happen.
12-year-old, pretty big
Hmm.
YouTuber, like million followers, a little
Yeah.
12-year-old live streamer had it happen to him, and it was
Yeah.
on the news. And that's one of the more common videos that you'll find when you search for swatting,
Yep.
that it happened to him as well.
Yeah.
Well, Brooke, I'm so happy you were able to come on and talk to me today.
Well, you know, and Rick's just really, I mean, it's pretty, he was looking forward to this. He was, you know, we were prepared for him to be on today, and it's still traumatic. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, we just want to kind of talk about it and,
yeah.
you know,
And
just
I'm
bring
keeping Rick
awareness.
in my prayers, and
Yep. Thank you.
gonna be here for him if he
Yep.
needs me, and we're gonna have a visit soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. We are coming
coming to my
to
town, and
Missouri.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
excited. For those of you who are watching or who will be watching the replay, Brooke and Rick and I had the pleasure of actually meeting in person. Was it almost a year ago? When
Yep.
was
It's my
that?
birthday.
It
Yep.
was. So
Yep.
is this your birthday again? You're
Yep.
coming back.
Yep.
I couldn't remember it was Rick's or
Yeah.
yours.
Yep. April.
So
Yep.
yeah, I
So,
now get the pleasure of sharing 2 birthdays with Brooke.
yeah. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
I'm
So
pretty sure we'll either live stream or vlog that again.
I'm sure we'll do something. Yeah.
And I look so forward to it. I know it's coming
Yeah.
up soon, and we won't
Yep.
give away dates or
Yep.
locations or anything, but I'm looking forward to seeing you both.
Yep. Yep.
Thank
We're
you so
excited.
much.
So yeah. Thanks everyone. See you later.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye-bye.
So that was my episode of Real Talk on Swatting. I do hope that it brought awareness for anyone who is watching in the future, and be safe out there. Until then, join me again. If you do want to have a real talk with me, be sure and hit me up on Twitter. If you look in the description of this video, you will find my link. Thanks for watching.